I think in Africa, in many African countries, I think we're leapfrogging to cashless or to a cashless largely because we don't have the legacy payment systems that stifle innovation. And in particular, the card schemes, which are a relic of the past, are not as widespread, or they don't control the payment systems as they do in, say, the developed countries. And so a small business in Africa can easily get if there is mobile money, and I think mobile money is no longer popular in East Africa. It's popular in West Africa, Ghana. Look at what's happening in Ghana. Look at some of the countries like Zimbabwe and so on. So it is easier to set up or become a merchant if you're a small business in Africa than it is in, say, some of the developed countries like London or UK. Because in the UK, to accept cards, you need a terminal, you need an acquiring bank. You might be declined because you might be a high-risk merchant. And then you deal with all kinds of issues, starting with you get charged 2 to 3% of the money. You don't get the money instantly, whereas with mobile money or e-wallets, you get your money instantly, and it's a good money. So you're not worried about the bank coming back and saying that charge back. And I took that as an e-commerce platform, a digital platform. And when we launched it back in 2010, and this is a heavily regulated industry, you have to get licensing and so on. But one of the most difficult things was getting an acquirer to access, to process cards. When we started in 2010, close to 99% of international remittances were cash in from the send side, cash out on the receive side. That is changing fast, and if in the next few years, we think as much as 50 to 60% of remittances will move to digital. Again, largely driven by tough new regulations that discourage cash. We see people sharing money with family members, even friends. And thanks to digitization, we see people sending or diaspora sending more money than they would have done in the past, because it is now easy to share small amounts of money because of our app, because of the successful mobile money services like MTN, Uganda, Ghana, Tigo in Tanzania, M-Pesa here, SAD in Somaliland, and so on. And we've removed some of the obstacles. When we launched the minimum fees in many parts of Europe, where for Western Union were about 12 euros. So if you only had 10 euros, you could not send any money. We introduced less than €1, 0.99 less fees, and we've seen people actually sending small amounts, $3, $4. And I think with the instant communication like WhatsApp, we often see diaspora migrants talking to family members sometimes virtually every day, and they are more aware of the situation back home. So an Uber driver, from East Africa is likely to now can easily skip a latte, a Starbucks latte, and send the $4 or $5 to a family member or a friend. So we think of this $1.6 billion we were sending annually now, we think as much as 15 to 20% are remittance that would not have been sent without the digitization, mobile money, our app. Because the transaction costs were very high when everything was cash. It meant that somebody had to walk to a corner shop, which often involves 1.5 hour, kind of depending where you are, to get to that location. And I think most of them were not, because of the minimum fees, were not accepting smaller amounts. The same on the receive side. I mean, imagine somebody who needs to go to downtown Nairobi, the traffic jams and so on. And we've done we've collected some data from our customers in countries like Zimbabwe. Majority of our recipients were outside Harare when we started, and most of our locations, cash out locations, were in Harare, and often customers were spending, or our recipient customers were spending as much as $10, $15, $20 sometimes, and wasting 2 hours to get to the cash out locations. Those are now getting money through EcoCash or through the mobile money, and saving the $20 or $15 they were wasting to get to that location. So these are the trends that are helping these are some of the benefits to the individuals, families in terms of digitization.